God has given us today. Once again, we are still in Uganda. It's been a month of adventure, hard work, a month of travel, zigzagging within Uganda with children, working with our organization Nyaka, traveling, and enjoying food, good weather, and amazing sights in Uganda. I want to take this opportunity to thank you, YouTube family, those of you who have subscribed, liked, and shared, even commented. We thank you. We appreciate you. I encourage everyone to continue subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, and do leave those comments. Nyaka is thriving as an organization. TJK team appreciates you and reads all your comments, and some of the topics we discuss are coming out of the comments you give us. So please, don't be tired to subscribe, don't be tired to share, don't be tired to comment. Thank you, family. Let us continue to grow together. Today's topic is geared towards you amazing young people or older people who are still looking for a job seekers. So today I'm going to sit in that CEO role. My name is Twesigye Jackson Kaguri. I am the founder and CEO of Nyaka Global. Nyaka Global was started 21 years ago as of yesterday. So happy anniversary, Nyaka. 21 years ago, I have led this organization. I've seen it from infancy to teenage years to adulthood now. Nyaka can drink, ladies and gentlemen. 21 years is the legal age in the United States to drink. So now Nyaka can drive, Nyaka can drink. But throughout this time, we have, as an organization, hired, fired, we have maintained and mentored so many employees in all corners of the world. Nyaka is registered in the United States as a non-profit organization. It's registered in the UK as a charitable organization. It's registered in Canada as a charitable organization, and in Uganda as a non-profit organization, aka NGO. So the things we are going to share today are not coming out of the blue. It's through these 21 years of experience of running Nyaka. But before Nyaka ever started also, I have led teams in international universities, Michigan State University as Director of Development. I've led teams with human rights concern, an organization I started here in Uganda. I have led teams in New York with different managerial positions I've held. And also going back to what I studied, management, fundraising, leadership. So get your pens out, get your notebooks out. Let's talk about you are looking for a job, and we're going to start at a point where you have made your application, it is in, and you are preparing to go for your interview in person. Recently, a friend of mine did an interview in person, and we did this, and part of this conversation started from there. How do I prepare myself? What do I wear? How do I arrive? How do I ask? How do I walk out from that panel seated down? And how do I follow up? And those are things we're going to address. So you have prepared. You're now facing a panel of different companies. This is applicable to Nyaka as an organization, can be applicable to Microsoft, can be applicable to Umeme, can be applicable to Yahoo, any company around the world, media company, small shop companies, or a school as a teacher going for an interview. So how do you prepare to go for your first interview in person? Number one, prepare yourself. Preparing yourself means doing background information on the organization, company, school, institution you are going to interview about. As a CEO sitting in a chair waiting for somebody to come in an interview room, I am so disappointed when you walk in and you don't know anything about our organization. Go on the website of Microsoft if you are going to interview with Microsoft. Read about the background of this organization. How was it started? What does it do? What does it stand for? What are its principles? Why are they hiring at this time? And come with that information, written, ready, revised. For Nyaka organization, I have written books about Nyaka. It is so impressive to me when somebody comes and said, I have read your book. And if you have not read the entire book, at least you know there's a book about it. I know the programs you run within Nyaka. I've read you have schools, I've read you have libraries, I've read you have water, grandmother's program, gender-based violence, secondary school, etc. Read about the organization before you appear to do an interview for it. When you are coming to the interview, come prepared and come early. So number one, prepare yourself, you're doing research. Number two, arrive on time. I don't like this word of saying Bazungu time, African time. There's only one time. We use the same clock. These days, everyone has a cell phone. It has time on it. Do not leave home at the time you're supposed to be on an interview. Leave home 20, 30 minutes early. If you are at the site of your interview 15 minutes before it begins, you will take your breath, you will compose yourself, you use the bathroom, and you will be ready. But to come puffing and huffing in an interview room, you have already lost some points on that. So prepare yourself, come on time. When you arrive in an interview room, people are already seated waiting for you. Typically, they will greet you by your first name. It's very important, if you already know who is going to be on that panel, to come with their names. When you sit down, you have a notebook, you have your pen, you can draw a table the way it is set and put a name of each of that person where they are. So that when question time comes, instead of saying, CEO, I was wondering what inspired you to start Nyaka, you rather say, Dr. Kaguri, Mr. Jackson, or Twesije, I'm wondering. There is nothing as sweet as saying somebody's name. That's why we who are interviewing you will learn your name when you come in, have your file in front and address you by your name. Because you are human. We want to address you that way. And the people who are interviewing you also are human. We want you to respect that part. So get their name, sit down, compose yourself. Usually what I will do as a CEO to get you settled in is ask you a little bit about how you arrived. Those little questions are to ease you into that nervousness. Remember, every person who is seated there has been there before interviewed at one point. So we understand where you're coming from. We are not going to fire questions at you and make you fail and make you startle. We want you to sit, relax, take a deep breath so you can answer questions accordingly. Then these days, ladies and gentlemen, people who are looking for a job, we do not ask those usual questions, tell me about yourself. These days we are looking for you, how you express yourself and bringing examples about how you will apply yourself into the job. So typical questions long time ago would be, tell us about yourself. But even if somebody said, tell us about yourself, don't go, oh, my name is Jackson, I was born in Nyaka, I went to primary school, I was a prefect, I was a head boy, then I became head. No. Summarize it quickly. In that summary, here are your tips. Talk about you, talk about your accomplishments, and everyone has accomplishments. Talk about what you bring to the company and why you are interested in the position you are applying for. Remember, there is no one who will market you better than you. You, seated there, you are coming to an organization that has said we need a media personality, social media expert. When you come, I want you to say, I saw this advert and it spoke to me. I saw myself in the company bringing this value to the company. Meanwhile, you are actually telling me, CEO Jackson, I know you are looking for an employee, and that employee is me. This is what I will bring to your company, and if you don't hire me, don't use that word, but in your answers, you are saying, by hiring me, this is the value I am bringing to the company. Then once you answer those questions, use examples. I might ask you, how do you problem solve? Like a challenge comes, you and your supervisor are disagreeing on something. How do you handle that conflict? When you're answering that type of question, tell me an incident that happened before. I have a question I ask every single employee. If you go all 120 plus employees of Nyaka who have ever sat in an interview with me, I tell them, tell me the time you failed as a person. That question is not to make you feel bad about your failure. It's a question that brings your best, because everyone has failed at one time or the other. That question is to bring you to humanity. Everyone fails, but what do we learn from that failure? Then after all questions are answered, we will ask you as an interviewee to ask us questions. So number one, ladies and gentlemen, you prepare, you come on time, you answer questions with examples, keep them precise, keep them summarized. When we are done with all questions, we will ask you to ask questions. Please make sure you come with 3 or 4 questions to ask the panel. One good question for you to ask the panel is, what inspired you to work with this organization? Now you are turning the panel to tell you about their passion for the work they do. That's one question. Number 2 question you can ask the CEO or any other manager is, what challenges do you face in managing people? Because hiring you, you're already telling them, I can be a handful. How are you going to manage me? Or how are your people skills as a manager? Number 3, you can always ask, what is the long-term, what are the long-term goals for this company? Every company does strategic planning, and therefore they have a short term today, what we'll accomplish, what we accomplished in 2 weeks, and now you are telling them, I'm not only coming here for a quick job and run, I'm coming here to bring value and to grow, and I want to know where this growth is taking us. So ask questions, and then they will say, if you don't have any more questions, we will communicate to you at this period of time. If they don't tell you when you will hear from them, ask them that question. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually have one more question. When will I hear back from you? And that will close the interview. As soon as you walk out of that interview room, if you had communicated by email, text message, sit down and write an email to the entire panel if you have your emails, or just to the CEO. Dear Mr. Dr. Kaguri or Miss So-and-so, I thank you for the opportunity to interview with your company. I learned these 3 things. I look forward to hearing from you, but no matter what happens, I am so thankful that I had an opportunity to interview. That sometimes is the difference between who gets the next level and who doesn't. Because let me tell you something which I already know you know. You are not the smartest person out there anymore. You are not the only unique individual anymore. But those who distinguish themselves from others sometimes are that email that you follow up with the CEO or with the panel, or that experience. I volunteered at an organization similar to Nyaka before, and therefore I am the best candidate. Or in my spare time, I work with women in my community since you are hiring for grandmothers program. If you're an IT person, I have done a program for orphanages or women in refugee camps in my spare time to help them do this. If you're a TV reporter, I have actually done free journalistic lesson for children in my community to tell them how a TV interview is held. So try to volunteer in areas that you are passionate about and tie them into your people skill and the company you are going to work with. If you are going to be a delivery man who takes a border board and picks and for Jumia, tell them how you are sometimes pick up stuff for the elderly and drop them. So ladies and gentlemen, prepare, arrive, remember to dress accordingly. Look up the dress code for the company. Many times this is on the website. Do they wear suits to work? Are they casual? If you go to work for Yahoo, you can actually come with your dog. You can actually come in shorts and jeans. You've seen Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook and the office culture. Each organization has its own culture. You don't want to overdress, you don't want to underdress. But if you don't know, overdress than underdress. And again, interview for you job seekers, ask questions, be smart. Now I want to hear from you. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your experiences. For those of you who are comfortable in your jobs, do come and comment and help our job seekers to get a job. And if you can't find one, start volunteering in one way or the other. People ask me, how do I go about volunteering? These days you have online, you have phones, you can just volunteer seated in your room. Rather than play an extra video game, spare 10 minutes to look up Instagram posts about a passion of yours and tell them, I want to volunteer by capturing content for you. So volunteer, give your time, and I pray to God each one of you find a job you are looking for, and I hope these tips were helpful. The best is yet to come. Until another episode, subscribe, share, like, and TJK team here will continue to share with you no matter the circumstances. Go and win.